Yeah, and I think the parents need to trust that their kids are resilient. I
Mm,
think that the worry that we put on parents that their kids are going to just break, or that there's something wrong with them. I go back to you saying that if they do bad on maths, do they have a learning difficulty? You know
mm,
what? One, they might just not be that great at maths and they might need to put more effort. Or two, it just might be that, they're having a rough patch or they don't understand that topic, but they don't necessarily have a learning difficulty. I think the jumping into going and being assessed has become a really, and again, it might be COVID or it might just be wanting to rule in or rule out or that early intervention. And I'm a believer in early intervention. I oversee the Department of Learning Services at my school. I completely believe in making sure that children are known as a learner, that adjustments are made that need to be made. It can make a big difference. But boy, I just feel like there's so many kids that they just can't have a bad term. Like we need to be really careful about jumping into these things without giving them some time to kind of, the teachers might be able to try a few things, or there might be some other things that are going on in their lives. Parents say, we're going through a separation, and at
mm.
the same time, I think my child has ADHD because they're not focused. Well, they're not focused because you're going through a separation,
Yeah,
Um,
they've got a
you
lot
know,
of things going on in their minds.
there's context around what's going on in their minds. And, kids focus their brains on what is the priority. And on their priority at that time is to make sure that everybody in the family is okay and that they have a safe place to land. And
Yeah,
if there's conflict or confusion or some uncertainty about that, their brain is going to focus on that, not on maths. They're not good at compartmentalizing and tuning out. They bring what's happening at home to school with them. So I find we need to be really careful to understand if there's other things happening for kids, or particularly adolescents. And sometimes parents will say, oh, they've got no idea that we're separating. Yeah, they do.
yeah.
A
They pick up
14-year-old
on
knows
everything.
everything. They know everything, or they don't know what's happening, but they know something is wrong. So they speculate. So
Yeah.
they come up with all sorts of amazing 14-year-old brain stories about what might be happening if they don't know. And again, my job is not to tell parents when to tell their kids, how to tell their kids, what boundaries to put on kids, but they need to know that if there is something happening in the system that is not working, if they don't have a conversation with their young person, that young person will come up with a whole range of other ideas,